What is up, YouTube viewers and podcast listeners? Welcome back to MJ's Thoughts. I'm your host, MJ. You're about to get my thoughts. I'm here today with my soon to be recurring guests, friend, roommate, brother, ex teammate, and a variety of other things. The one and only Casey Brown. Casey, how are you doing?
I'm good, Matt.
Today, actually, I didn't really invite Casey. We already had this conversation a while back. We just wanted to record it. We were discussing the ins and outs of quote unquote musical merit. Um, I dare say that neither of us has the right to determine what quote unquote musical merit is, but we have some thoughts on the subject that we felt some other people might enjoy listening to. Is that right, Case? Would that be accurate?
I think just since we're consumers, and we're pretty happy consumers, I think we have a say. I don't think that we're discredible. I don't think that we're unreliable sources.
Fair enough. I, for one, feel unreliable just personally. Casey, on the other hand, is a music aficionado, so I wholeheartedly believe in everything he has to say about the industry, et cetera, et cetera.
And also too, when it comes to the technical stuff, I've tried to mix music. I've played in a band back home, my buddies, and we've recorded stuff and we've recorded it through microphones and into a mixer, and we've tried to, or I guess through a mixer and into the computer. And watching my buddy mix it, who actually knows the technology. It's so I know that process. What I'm trying to say. So
You're intimate
we're gonna be
with music making
we have been into it for a while.
in a variety
Music
of ways.
making and I.
You are personally, yes. Kid shreds the guitar.
I'm not a kid.
He shreds. The man.
I don't shred either.
The man. So Casey, if you recall, how exactly did this conversation about quote unquote musical merit begin between us?
I believe you were talking to Sweaty Pablo about guys like Travis Scott.
Yes, we were discussing in our kitchen.
It's right around the corner.
We were discussing Travis Scott and what we thought of him as an artist. And he had his point of view, and I had my point of view. And if it means anything, I don't listen to Travis Scott, so if that gives you any sort of a hint into what my opinion is on it, then you should already know. But basically, Pablo, Josh, he's a huge Travis Scott fan, and we got into the discussion of specifically to Travis Scott, how much of an actual musical artist he is. The conversation was centered around Travis Scott, but it encompasses a broad variety of musical artists, not just Travis Scott. And we're not trying to bash Travis Scott either. He's huge. For what he's done, it's quite impressive.
Apparently, he has a documentary out that people say is like powerful. So it documents the story. Apparently, has like a pretty good story, a pretty good upcoming. But I've never seen it, and quite frankly, I don't really care too much to look into it.
Well,
it's just not my. It's not my.
I like good stories.
It's not my bowl of pudding.
We're not here to discuss his story though, no. And we're not here to rap on him either. Good pun. Huh? Oh, we're not here to down Travis Scott. We're just here to
have an intelligent discussion about him.
Having a discussion.
And a discussion about music.
Just a discussion because neither of us are intelligent. So why don't we start off by defining what musical merit is? Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you, Casey, as the quote unquote expert here? I say quote unquote a lot. I've noticed that.
I mean, to me, I'd say musical merit is mainly the different talents that the artist or group has.
What they bring.
This guy in the background, John Denver, if you can hear
Johnny Denver.
It's what they bring to the table. It's their set of skills. It's their sound. Also, I'd say kind of their impact. At least personally, like are they replaceable? Something I was thinking about: are they replaceable? Can you take them and put in just another band, someone else from, small label USA and replace them, and nothing will really change.
I like that you went to impact, and I want to come back to that later.
Mhm.
Um, ability to stick. I want to come back to that. What musical skills go into musical merit?
Well, for one, you have great writing. I think that's.
Like lyrics.
I think great lyric writing. I think is probably one of the biggest things of musical merit. Because you can have honestly like decent, whatever, decent music, like decent like guitar riffs, decent drum part. Like it can be pretty average, but if you have great writing, that's what made bands like the Doors so good. Is that they had some cool riffs like "Light My Fire" is pretty cool, or "Love Me Two Times." What I'm thinking was pretty cool. But Jim Morrison, the lead singer, was just an amazing lyricist. He was a really good poet. That's what makes their stuff stand out, right? But so you have the lyricism, you have obviously great singing. If you want to talk about, just an obvious example of someone like Queen, someone like Freddie Mercury, Fredward Venus, his alter ego. If you want to talk about someone like him, and they say that he has the highest vocal range as far as going from the lowest note to the highest note in music history, at least recorded music history. So great singing, great lyrics. Are your guitar parts good? I mean, are they unique? Do they sound good? Are they melodic?
Ability to play an instrument.
Ability to play an instrument. Ability to play an instrument.
Are you saying or implying that certain skills hold more weight in the musical merit conversation than other skills? You went immediately to lyric writing,
Maybe to me.
which was a big deal to you.
Yeah.
Would you put that over the ability to play a guitar, for example?
Yes, because you can write great songs just by just playing chords and singing meaningful lyrics. Like "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." I think that's a good example.
I say like
It's a beautiful song, but it's not
that type of thing. Simple,
different song. That's
simple
that's "You Are
sounds.
My Sunshine." That's a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
song,
but powerfully.
yeah, powerful lyrics and powerful melody. I mean, you listen to "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," and if you're in the right mood, you can start getting kind of choked up.
Gotcha.
Not me, I don't do that. But,
Yeah, because you're a man.
But you can have just chords, and you can still write a powerful song and have a great song.
So, in your
Just from
opinion,
singing.
which is also my opinion, I'm just not as knowledgeable in the
We
space.
share a bank account too. Joint opinions. Joint.
Is that you can define and compare artists quantitatively against each other and figure out who has more musical merit.
I mean, I'm sure you can, but there'll never be one set answer to that. I don't think it's fair to because everyone will have a different opinion.
Understandable.
Some people don't.
This is just our opinion.
Just ours. I think you can. I think that'd take a little more time. That'd take more time off screen. I mean, I can definitely probably do it.
Like you could theoretically, of course, we're not going to do it. Line up every artist alive now, or even every artist of all time, and you could rank them.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can. For me,
Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. This is just something I thought of just now. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
Impromptu.
In 10 seconds, you have to name the artist you believe in 10 seconds who has the most musical merit. Are you ready?
Yeah.
10, 9.
Do I have to wait till
8.
one, or can I just say it?
You already know.
Go
for it.
7.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Led Zeppelin.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, you could say the Beatles, but if you listen to Jimmy Page play the guitar, I mean, this dude literally, for the song Kashmir, he had his guitar, his electric guitar strapped up, and he played it with a violin string. The dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That was done with a violin string. One. Actually, you know who I forgot? You know who I would actually? I might change
Oh,
this.
no, you can't go back.
I can't
go back, but
Okay.
you can give a.
Can I do a close second?
You can do a quick. I'll give you a tie. Tie's
I'll
fine.
give a quick shout out to Jimi Hendrix. This is the guy who I think I probably should say. But I'd say he's more for. I will stick with Led Zeppelin. I'll stick with Zeppelin because Jimi Hendrix was really probably the biggest guitar influencer.
And
Um,
if you haven't noticed, Casey and also I are big rock guys. We love rock music and rock bands. Um, it's what we listen to most, although we both listen to a variety of things.
you
Right?
heard 15 or whatever, 100 Years to Live by Fight for Fighting. That was
Yeah,
on
we
earlier.
got. Oh,
We have soft sides.
oh, in
Don't tell anybody.
case you're wondering what the music in the background is, right now it's Tenacious D. But the music in the background is off of my personal favorites playlist. Fun fact. So enjoy that while you can.
Back to the conversation about Led Zeppelin. One, Jimmy Page, who's a great guitarist. He just responsible for so many good riffs. Obviously, Black Dog, the do 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 do. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Stairway to Heaven's a real common one. And then, so, I mean, you can analyze Stairway to Heaven as one of the greatest songs of all time, just based on its writing and how. I actually watched a video on him explaining it, and he said how with like every little break in the song, there's a little break in each part of the song, and then when it comes back, there's another layer. So every little break in the song, like there's a new layer and a new layer, and so at the end, eventually you have just this huge orchestrated sound just going into both your ears, and it's
Very complex.
if you listen to him explain it, it's honestly probably more. It's like an 8-minute video, so it's not super long.
Not
But
only
it's one
is
of the
it,
cooler things.
it's a complex sound, but the making of it was probably ridiculous also.
Oh, because they had to actually literally record everything.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't search Wikipedia for cool boing sound. They had to actually
I don't know if Wikipedia
find
does that, but
they had to actually find something and go ding and record that.
that was
You know,
back in the day.
yeah. I know for some sound stuff they hit like watermelons and stuff, like watermelons with the baseball bat, just thump.
So I think
But
that's actually talking about producing sounds. I think that's actually a good segue into.
I wasn't even done talking about Robert Plant, the singer. Great lyricist, one of the greatest voices, in music.
You don't know.
Yeah, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay. No, all good. Aficionado, he can go on and on. But it's a good segue.
It's also my opinion.
It is his opinion. It's also my opinion. We're one and the same in the opinion department at the moment. But it's a good segue into, well, really going back to the conversation I was having with Pablo. In
Not Josh.
the further it is Josh. Further conversation that I brought you into, or I asked you about, or what have you, when we were driving to that concert the other day. And of course, it involved Travis Scott, and of course, we're not trying to rag on Travis Scott. It's just who came up in the conversation. But when we think of Travis Scott and compared to a Led Zeppelin or the Beatles or whoever it is, would you agree with me in the thought that there seems to be, for lack of a better term, much less quote unquote musical merit involved in making his music and songs versus what you just discussed with Led Zeppelin and all the other guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. I mean, obviously, we have beat making. I don't know if he makes his own beats. I don't really care. I'm
Right.
sure that if once I learn the program, I can make my own beats and I can make them sound pretty good. I can make them sound good enough, and I can just throw random sounds there to be creative enough, and people will like it if it has a good bass, if it has a good thump 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 like bass line. People will put that in their cars and they'll bump it. Remember the song? It's by like OG Mako or something like that. It's called Keep It Clean. It's called B Word. You guessed it. Oof, that one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's barely a song. There's barely any kind of sound. It's just a little bass line. There's like a little do 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 like piano part, but people liked it because it had a good bass. So back to that, I'd say that he doesn't really have any musical merit because I don't know if he writes his own lyrics, but I think one of his lyrics in All Through the Late Night is what it's called, and I know it's because it was on a playlist that I heard every single day. One of the lyrics was "Stroke my cactus," and I don't know if he's ever felt a cactus, but I wouldn't, say to anybody, "Stroke my cactus." That just sounds so unappealing. I don't want a handful of thorns. I really don't. So I don't know if he writes his own lyrics, but that goes back to my other point of beautiful lyric writing. Can you write good lyrics?
As a skill
As a
for
skill,
that
and if you
quantifies
can't, it's not
musical
really a
merit.
skill. I don't know if he makes his own beats, but I know there's a lot of producers who make their own beats. I know there's ghostwriters in a lot of pop music. I'm pretty sure Drake has a ghostwriter. Um, the whole like Young Money people. I'd say a lot of their stuff's probably ghostwriters. I don't think they write their stuff. A lot of country stuff, there's ghostwriters, interestingly enough. Chris Stapleton used to write for a lot of bigger country artists. Beat making, I think it's really a musical skill. It's more of a programmable skill. And we also talked about being able to rap and being able to rap with the rhythm. And is that a skill? And yes, it is a skill. But if you're singing a song, you have to be able to sing in rhythm too. If your singing sucks and it's not in time, your song's going to sound bad. Same thing with rap. If you can't rap with a beat and stay on time, like granted, yes, it's hard to speak really, really fast and stay on time. Like that takes some skill.
I can sing to poorly. I can sing poorly to a lot of normal songs. But what I cannot do, well, first of all, I can't rap. Second of all, I will never ever be able to speak as fast as Eminem does in his recordings. So, in my opinion, rap is like it's yes, it is that singing portion, but in that ability to stay on a beat, but it is taking it to an entirely new level creatively, I suppose. You're making your mouth move and you're making sounds come out of your face so fast compared to normal singing.
Yeah, and it's tough, especially if you stutter.
It's almost, in my opinion, it's almost so far elevated that it's like its own skill. Like you got rap and then you got singing. Do you even have to stay on tune for rap?
I don't. It's mostly just like it's like fast, like spoken word, and
Yeah,
there's little
in
like
rhythm.
yeah, there's little like ups and downs, and
It's a
your
yeah,
vocal
it's a
range. You don't want to just stay monotone and rap.
yeah,
That just that's not fun. No one wants to listen to a robot.
yeah.
But
You can convey emotion in that, like anger,
you can,
things like
you can
that.
change your voice.
So going back,
But yeah, I see your point. Um, I think like yeah, the extremely fast rapping, that's definitely up here when it comes to like singing. But everything else,
like
I think you could take some other singers and they could rap and stay on time. Obviously, they probably wouldn't sound as good. Um, so I'm not sure it makes a modern day rappers sound like they do as good as they do because some of the guys sound pretty good and girls. Some of the people sound pretty good. Um, so I'm sure that if you took Corey Taylor from Slipknot, I'm sure he could do it, but he probably won't sound as good. So
gotcha.
Slipknot's a metal band.
So going back to Travis Scott, who sparked this entire conversation. If if we lay out his skills, or if we looked at the skills that make up musical merit, the things that we discussed, the ability to sing, ability to hold a beat, the ability to play an instrument, etc., etc. How many of those can we identify in his repertoire, in his lineup?
Say it again. So it was I don't lyrics. No,
Lyrics, no.
I've never heard him rap super fast.
Ability to rap rapidly, not
No,
there.
singing he uses auto tune
Auto tune, cannot sing that we know of.
that we know of. I have not seen a clip of him actually singing.
Neither have I. Although I'm
For all we
not
know,
versed in it.
if we go back to the T Pain example, T Pain can really sing. So if
But we
we
only found that out like later, didn't we?
yeah, it was like years down the road, but some like released
Yeah.
have him singing without auto tune.
So Travis could still prove us wrong.
He can have a
But
beautiful voice.
for now, can't sing.
Yeah,
Lyrics, no fast rapping that I know of. Can't sing that we know of.
beat making,
Beat making, which comes on computers, which
which we don't know if he makes his own beats.
we don't know that
I'm sure
either.
you know what. Let's do a quick the Google search. Let's see.
Again, beat making. Theoretically, you and I, the average Joe, could make a beat that could be purchased by Travis Scott that he could use in a song. Anybody could do that, potentially.
Everything I'm seeing is on the front page.
What are you looking at?
Does he make his own beats? Everything I was just reading, just based off of the titles and little blurbs, say that no one's seen any evidence that he makes his own beats. So for all we know, he does not make his own beats. He might help and say, "Oh yeah, that sounds good," or or maybe change this to this. But for all we know, he doesn't actually make his own beats.
So we got
Probably has a team that does it. Nothing wrong with
lyrics
that.
are made for him, beats potentially made for him.
We don't know what the lyrics are made for him, but I'm talking about quality of the lyrics, and I think they're subpar.
Okay, so that skill, so lyrics can be split into two: quality and then also who makes them, who writes them.
The credit.
So just for argumentative purposes, a lack of lyrics.
Sure.
No beat making that we know of, no singing that we know of, and no skillful rapping that we know of. Can you play an instrument?
No clue.
No clue, but we wouldn't be able to hear it in his songs because it's all computers.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll say yes. A lot of people who are music can play the piano somewhat, so we'll go yeah. We'll give him play an instrument.
Would you say then that being able to play an instrument at a expert level is what qualifies that skill as a
musical skill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to play
you have to be
being able to shred an instrument.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good. Because otherwise, your stuff's not going to sound good. Because with that fast playing comes knowledge of the sounds on the fretboard that the guitar makes. But it comes the knowledge of knowing what sounds where and what moves you can do with what and what scales, what notes the scales share, and then just kind of what sounds or what emotions that the guitar when you play a note or bend a note is going to produce. That's why you hear the guitarists too, like who can really shred. If you want to look up a good guitarist, look up Nuno Betancourt from the band Extreme. Dude, he's
been on an extreme kick for like the past week.
Band Extreme, this dude, they play the song more than words, right? And this dude absolutely shreds. The song More Than Words is probably one of the nicer sounding acoustic guitar players I've ever heard. It's just from a dude who just obliterates the guitar.
All right. So we have debunked Travis Scott as an artist for now. Until further notice when he comes out with a song that proves all of our theories wrong.
And once Travis Scott makes a rock song, then
again, they're all theories. They're all theories. We don't know Travis Scott. We don't know his life intimately. We don't know the process really, because he's more of it than I do. But we don't actually know. But this is just the opinion of two dudes.
Hey, dude's from Arizona.
I have no problem with Travis Scott. I mean, the fact that he's made it so big is a testament to him. That's crazy. Apparently, he has a pretty cool story since there's that documentary. So good for him.
Yeah, we're not knocking on the
not trying to take anything away
from
the
work ethic. I'm sure he works pretty hard. I'm sure he's in the studio all through the late night.
Yeah, but we're impressed with Travis Scott, but we're wildly impressed with Dragon Force or Avenged Sevenfold. Or
we saw Dragon Force live, the band who plays Through the Fire and the Flames. Wow. And those dudes are all over their guitar.
Yeah, great.
We got to watch him play Through the Fire. It was incredible.
The guy who can shred himself, Casey Brown, was impressed. If you impress Casey Brown, you're good. The extreme guy. Yeah.
Oh, the extreme guy is just on another level. He's faster than Dragon Force.
No way.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, that's nuts.
Nuno Betancourt.
Actually, you did play me one of their songs, and I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty impressed by you playing the guitar, so that guy's just otherworldly.
They have a song called, it's called He-Man Woman Hater. It's pretty funny. Neil Sean, the guy for Journey, shreds. Absolutely shreds.
I was going to say.
You're a good solo any way you want it.
That's the way you need it.
It is, and he absolutely shreds. He is good. Steve Perry, too. Beautiful voice.
All right. Casey, since you're the aficionado, I'm going to rattle off some bands and artists, and you first instinct, yes or no to whether or not they have musical merit. Are you ready?
Okay.
I'll lob you a softball real quick. Avenged Sevenfold. Mm-hmm. We already had this discussion. That's a yes.
Yeah, they do. Afterlife, great song.
Taylor Swift.
That's a tough one. I'd say yes, especially when she was new.
She was younger.
When she was younger. Because what happens when they're older is they sign records, and so they're forced to produce. I know Sony has a lot to do with the decline of the music industry because they'll sign them to record deals and they'll force them to produce a certain amount of albums, no matter what, by a certain date. Wow. So eventually, when they're young and angry and full of ideas and sad, they write these great songs, but then they have nothing left to write about, so they just write these, cliche, just corny songs. That's what I was saying. Taylor Swift, when she was younger, I think did have some good stuff. I enjoy, in the right company, listening to Taylor Swift.
Like me.
Yeah.
Sweet. Bon Jovi.
Yep.
Katy Perry.
That's a good one. I don't think so. No. Just because what I'm thinking of is, can you replace Katy Perry with someone else? Could someone else come in and have been, the next Katy Perry or whatever?
That's something I totally forgot. We were going to go back to it, and I totally forgot to do that. You mentioned Impact early on. I wrote it down.
Yeah, we can do a few more of these. It's kind of fun.
Well, let's come back to it. I want to talk about Impact real quick, okay? Because that's important. He didn't write anything.
I'm making fun of him.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about Impact because that's something that wasn't in our last conversation about this particular topic. You mentioned an artist's ability to last, and then you just now, talking about Katy Perry, or you asked if she could be replaced. Could someone else do what she does?
Yeah.
And do it just as well?
I mean, Britney Spears did it before her.
There you go.
And before her, it was like Cher and Madonna.
So Britney Spears, Madonna, and Cher. In the blink of an eye, when put to the point, no musical merit. When you have to make a snap decision, none of those would have musical merit because they've all been replaced.
I would say that Madonna and Cher would,
but not Britney and not Katy.
Britney, I don't know about Britney Spears, but if I remember, she was pretty influential. She had a pretty big impact on us.
It's true,
which is why a lot of people didn't like her.
But that would be impact. Isn't whether or not you like someone, right? Yeah, that's just how long do you last?
But
I guess. Well, here's another question. Here's another question because you mentioned all those names. They're not really producing music anymore, are they?
I think either Madonna or Cher just came out with new stuff. I remember hearing something like that. Yeah,
interesting. But not at the same level as before. Or same quantity or what have you.
They're still pretty popular, actually, which is interesting.
So they have lasted.
They have.
So that impact goes into their quote unquote musical merit. Do you think? Let's take another approach. Do you think, since this conversation is about Travis Scott, do you think his music will be around in 15 years?
No.
20 years?
No one listens to Sicko Mode anymore, and that was a year ago.
That's true. People have moved on.
People have moved on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and that's a lot of modern day hip hop.
I've also haven't listened to Katy Perry either in a while.
Either.
I don't really listen to the radio either. The radio plays those songs a lot, and then they disappear. You could probably follow radio plays, and watch a song come up and then die out.
Or if the radio kills it. Because the radio replaces it.
What is it? Video killed the radio star?
Yeah. Video killed the radio. Wasn't that Madonna?
I have no idea.
No, it's the Buggles. So who would have thought? I think.
Buggles?
Let's make sure.
I knew the song, but I've never heard the artist.
It's the Buggles. So
anyway,
we were both songs. Well, we have technology.
So musical merit then. Impact has a great impact on musical merit. Clever, thank you. I'm glad.
It took me a second. I thought you stumbled.
No, I did not. Okay,
we got there. Guys.
I'm glad we came back to that. I'm glad we came back to that because. Well, here's another question with impact. Bon Jovi wrote a lot of songs, but not all of Bon Jovi's songs are remembered. There's that video of the kid dancing to the Bon Jovi song in the basketball arena. Have you seen it? He's on the steps and he's just going nuts. I forget the song. Thanks. Oh, halfway there. Living on a prayer. Living on a prayer. Music aficionado. He's just jamming to that song in the basketball arena. and everybody knows that song.
Uh-huh.
But there are a lot of Bon Jovi songs that they don't remember.
This is true.
So is Impact more tailored toward individual songs or full albums
Overall band
or
impact. I mean, does the band
image?
influence other bands? Does the
Okay,
band influence people?
gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the list of names, to the list of bands with musical merit or no musical merit or somewhere in between, because there's definitely an in between. It's like a scale, right?
A bell-shaped curve, you know.
You can do it a variety of ways, I'm sure.
Well, because there's the bands who are at the very bottom of the bell-shaped curve, like the biggest bands of all times. You know, talking about Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, and like the Rolling Stones. Those guys are like over here.
Why would it be?
And then you have bands like over here, like the one I was in back home, who just the only reason people know about them is because we tell our families, and they're supportive.
But you didn't have the impact, but you had the musical merit. You had the musical merit without the impact. You play the instrument. You might not have been able to sing very well, but you could shred. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the. I'm gonna name some more artists. And the first one is because I watched the documentary on them on Netflix. It's super good.
Oh, yeah.
You ready? Yeah. Motley Crue.
They have musical merit.
They have musical merit.
Yeah,
Huge impact, right?
Huge impact. They have killer guitar riffs. Tommy Lee, great drummer. Vince Neil, great frontman. He's a showman. Yeah, they had musical merit for sure.
Okay.
I was listening to Motley Crue before they were cool. Before the movie. I read the book. You know.
Did you read the book? I think I read the book. My buddy read it. Shout out Tristan Robinette. He might actually watch this. He'll get a kick out of it.
Shout out Tristan. Shout out.
He loves Motley Crue. It's his favorite band.
That's the same old situation is my favorite song.
Yeah.
And
you guys should hang out.
It's such a fun song.
Kanye West.
That's interesting. That's wow. It's not Sunday, is it? We're not closed. It's a Kanye West joke. Shout out to our roommate. Always plays the Chick-fil-A song. Who? Trevor. He always plays it. He asked me to learn on the guitar, and I was like, dude, this is the weirdest request I've ever had for a song on the guitar. Kanye West have musical merit. That's an interesting one. I'd say he'd be somewhere in the middle of that bell-shaped curve.
So yeah, on that scale, he's right in the middle. Probably leaning toward musical merit. He's pretty influential.
I'm saying yes.
Well, I wouldn't say.
I'm saying he does. In case he sees this Kanye, you got it, bro.
You got to consider his last album that came out. That's all about God and religion and stuff. That's actually kind of a big deal.
I'm actually sure that he's probably influenced people to start going to church.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for good people.
Yeah.
So I'd say Kanye does. I'd say he does. A lot of that's based on impact, but he's also I think he has some pretty dang creative lyrics on some of his older stuff. So I think he's pretty quick with it. So I'd say he does.
Right. Post Malone.
That's another interesting one. I was actually just talking to Trevor about it the other day, and that guy knows how to write a hook and a melody. He knows how to do that.
I feel like he does write his stuff. He's also early on in his career, so it's like
he also grew up listening to. He used to play country songs. He used to be a cover country artist in like bars and stuff.
That's awesome.
You know, so he has instrument skills. I've watched him play the guitar on like YouTube and stuff. He has the skills. I mean, the guy has done Nirvana covers at his concerts. I'd say he's on the verge of having it. From what I've been actually talking to a roommate about, is that he's been thinking about releasing just like kind of just stuff on like his SoundCloud or whatever.
That would be so cool.
But like rock songs and country songs that he's written.
That would be so cool.
I think once he does that, he'll go into the yes. But as of right now, he's approaching. If you want to talk teaching standards, he's approaching.
I would love to see an artist try and dabble in as many genres as they could.
Kid Rock did it. He failed.
I'd like to see some do it successfully. I guess. Rock, country, rap.
Marky Mark.
I don't know, gospel, Christian music.
Sure.
That has a distinctive sound. It does.
It definitely does. There's actually some cool guitar licks.
It'd be cool if someone would do that. It'd be cool if someone would do that for the sake of doing that, instead of like conforming to any sort of a label.
They could just
Maybe
say,
come up with their own
screw
label.
it.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna. I had one in my head. Breaking Benjamin. We went to their concert. It was a good concert. It was a great concert.
It was fun. They played a Pantera cover, Cowboys from Hell.
Pantera.
Pantera, yeah, they do.
Metallica.
Yeah.
JayZ.
That's actually an interesting one.
I'd say yes. He's I guess I don't know. Eminem.
Yeah. Speaking of Breaking Bad,
Yeah, nice. Good timing, Apple Music.
it's like they're listening. It's like they're listening.
Thanks,
Siri on. My Siri's on.
Thanks, FBI agent. Definitely Eminem.
Yeah, for sure. Eminem's huge.
What'd you say on JayZ?
Well, about Eminem actually, he did have that guy who Stan, the song Stan, the guy who wrote him the fan letters, and he never got back to him. Then he ended up killing like his wife and his baby and himself.
That was based on a true story.
It's based on a true story.
That is awful.
It's not the best. But back to JayZ, I don't know, man. I don't know about JayZ.
I wanted to say yes because he does so many other things that aren't music now, but you can't judge him.
You can't judge someone's musical merit.
Yeah, I almost made that mistake. I was going to do the same thing with Kanye. I was going to do the same thing with Kanye.
Yeah.
That was my first instinct because it's such a big name and he does so many different things now. But you can't. You got to keep it to the music.
JayZ, I think he does. He started off when he was like, started off when he was young. That was a dumb thing to say, but he started off pretty low and he worked his way up, and he earned the respect of a lot of people along the way. I think he does.
Okay.
It's from Brooklyn. Shout out to my family who live on Long Island.
I don't have any family there, sorry. All right, Case. That was spectacular. We've been talking for 40 minutes now. People haven't gotten bored and logged off by now. Thanks for staying with us.
Thanks for hanging out.
Do you have any closing thoughts or anything you'd
just
like
because
to add?
Just because we say something doesn't have musical merit,
It's true.
Doesn't mean that we don't respect him. Doesn't mean that we don't like him.
Yeah.
Like I can listen to
mad respect for Travis Scott.
I can listen to some KP all day.
He's huge, so
Katy Perry. California Girls, great.
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
I just wanted.
I went and saw them.
That's his plug for Greta Van Fleet. Dorothy,
I've seen Dorothy.
All about those female leads. Female leads, baby.
I've seen Dorothy live more than I have any other band.
Beyond the Black, which you don't know, and The Animal Me,
so
which you also don't know.
How do I answer those
You don't know. You don't answer it. You go listen to them later.
So since we're talking about music and you're still with us, I'll give you a few truths, a couple songs that I've heard recently that I really like. There's one that's called Iffy by a band called Camp, but it's spelled with two A's, so C-A-M-P. So it's like calm, you know. They're like kind of acoustic folk music. It's called Iffy, the song, and it's nice. It's really nice. It's perfect for like an acoustic morning, driving to school or driving to work. You know, if you want something quiet, it's perfect for it.
Vibey song.
Great vibe song.
Good.
And then The New Day by Greta Van Fleet. I've just been listening to that one for just nonstop for like a week now. I've always liked him.
Music guy.
Anthem by Greta Van Fleet is good too.
Big music guy. All right. I think we're done boring you guys now. If you guys enjoyed this video or this podcast, feel free to leave a comment.
Or if you have suggestions.
You got suggestions for my next video, drop them. That's
our next video.
He'll probably be here. He's going to be a recurring guest. I live with him. It's not like I can get rid of him. Anyway, if you like the video,
leave us some feedback.
Hit the like button on YouTube. And then if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button because I think they're right next to each other. And then if you hit the subscribe button, hit the little alarm bell thingy. So if I ever post again, which I might not because, you know.
It took him an hour to get this running.
I couldn't figure it out. And I don't necessarily feel like this is I probably shouldn't be doing this because it's not my right, but whatever. If that makes sense.
You got to go to 9:30. I had enough time to sit here, do nothing on my phone, and then shower and come back, and then he's finally ready.
It's now past 11 o'clock.
Yeah. I have to be up tomorrow early, so I'm doing this out of love for talking music. And obviously the love for entertainment. Because I'm just
and his love for me. Yes. Right?
Yeah. In a completely platonic way.
Good word.
I'm trying to boost up the vernacular.
Anyway, like, subscribe, and then hit that little alarm thingy. Subscribe to the podcast. It'd mean a lot, actually, because
we don't have any subscribers.
0 subscribers.
We have one listener. Actually, 2. Shout out to Carly Duncan and Madison Tollett, who have listened to our pilot podcast that maybe one day will make it exclusive. So shout out to them for sticking with us from the beginning.
All right.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Later.